Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Dragonmaid Yugioh deck profile for post-Battles of Legends Monster Mayhem. With the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, we were given the new Fusion Monster and the additional Dragon form of Chamber Dragonmaid to utilize the Dragonmaid deck. We also had reprints for the majority of the cards for the Dragonmaid deck, making it a lot more easier to build this deck for people looking to play the sorted waifu deck. So with it, I figured I'd give an update to the deck with all the changes to it and all the different cards and new support we can utilize with our new go-to boss monster, Ladies Dragonmaid. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Dragonmaids, we're running 3 copies of Chamber Dragonmaid. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Dragonmaid spell or trap from your deck to your hand. At the start of the battle phase, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do special summon 1 level 7 or higher Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard, you can use each effect of Chamber Dragonmaid once per turn. So just being able to then summon out your bigger go-to dragons. We now have the new Dragonmaid Sermba for the special summon of Chamber, being her dragon form, but just having a search as well for the different Dragonmaid spells as well gives us more resources to make use of for our Dragonmaid monsters because of it. We're also running 3 copies of Parlor Dragonmaid. If this card's normal or special summon, you can send 1 Dragonmaid card from your deck to the graveyard, except for Parlor Dragonmaid. At the start of the battle phase, you can return this card to the hand and special summon 1 level 8 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of Parlor once per turn, so the dragons do match up with their variant forms, being able to summon out Dragonmaid Lorpar off of Parlor, all the easier as well for that summon, but also just the send setup to give us other Dragonmaid monsters for the graveyard plays as well. 3 copies of Kitchen Dragonmaid. If it's normal or special summon, you can add 1 Dragonmaid monster from your deck to your hand, except for Kitchen Dragonmaid, then send 1 Dragonmaid monster from your hand to the graveyard. At the start of battle phase, being able to return it, and if you do special summon 1 level 8 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. So they all have the bounce effect for the special summon of our other Dragonmaid monsters, with the last of the Dragonmaid monsters, 1 Laundry and 1 Nurse, having the special summon of the monsters for Nurse Dragonmaid of a level 4 or lower one from the graveyard, and then the bounce for a level 7 monster, and then the use of Laundry to send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, and the return for that other level 7, being their 2 variants that we run in the deck also. For the other Dragonmaids, we run 1 of copies for all of their dragon forms. So 1 copy of Lorpar, 1 copy of Tinket, and the 1 copy of Sermba. Dragon fusion monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Sermba once per turn. You can discard this card to special summon 1 Dragonmaid monster from your graveyard or banishment, and at the end of the battle phase, you return that card to the hand and special summon 1 level 4 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your hand. So just being able to have that special summon option in the form of this dragon gives us more of a search option as well for this card being able to add off of some of our other Dragonmaids, and then with Tinket being able to have the destruction of being not able to be destroyed by card effects while we control a fusion monster. You can only use each of the following effects of Tinket once per turn. To discard this card to target a Dragonmaid you control, it gains 2,000 attack to the end of the turn, and then being able to return it to special summon the level 3 Dragonmaid monster from the hand, being able to summon back their maid forms with their bigger dragon forms, and then being able to restrict your opponent's activation of cards with Lorpar, and also cannot be destroyed by card effects while you control a fusion monster also, with the remaining dragons being the 1 Ernest and the 1 Yugioh for the level 7 plays, being able to target a monster in the graveyard shuffled into the deck with our Yugioh, and then being able to have the quick effect to discard this card to special summon the level 4 lower Dragonmaid from your hand, as more hand resources for each one also. And then additional dragons we run being 1 Druid Form and 1 Magnemut. Now, Magnemut can search out Druid Form, but Magnemut can also search out a dragon monster from the deck or graveyard. So we can search out the majority of the monsters we went over already with Magnemut if need be as well. We just have the Druid Form in here as a potential additional target to be able to add to react to our opponent's cards in their graveyard as well. And then for the rest of the main deck monsters, the hand trap lineup of the 3 Fulalos, the 2 Droll and Lockbird, and the 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. If you don't want to run hand traps in the deck, you can always increase the numbers of your Dragonmaid monsters, replacing the copy counts for each one with additional monsters that we ran at lower counts if, like I said, you didn't want to run any hand traps. And then for the spells, we're running 3 copies of Dragonmaid Hospitality, probably one of the best spells in the deck for the Dragonmaids. You special summon 1 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense. Then you can send 1 Dragonmaid monster with the same attribute, but different level, from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 Hospitality per turn. So with this play giving you that special summon, being able to add this card off of Chamber sets up that play to special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard, and then send 1 Dragonmaid monster with the same attribute, but a different level. So then you'll set up the bigger Dragonmaid monster for you to then be able to summon that monster from the hand or graveyard of the respected Dragonmaid monster that you set up with Hospitality on the field also. We're also running the 1 Dragonmaid changeover. Fusion summon 1 Dragon Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field of material. While this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 Dragonmaid monster you control, add this card to your hand, and return that monster to the hand. So we only need the 1 copy because it can just be recycled from the graveyard as well, thanks to just bouncing our Dragonmaid monsters back to our hand. And then the 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent, the 1 Call by the Grave, the 1 Crossout Designator, and then the 1 Foolish Burial as just another answer to be able to set up more Dragonmaids in our graveyard. For the traps, 2 copies of Dragonmaid Tidying. Target 1 dragon monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls are in their graveyard. Return them to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense, but return it to the hand during the end phase. So just giving you an added resource and then a backup resource by banishing this card from the graveyard. The 1 copy of Dragonmaid Downtime, being able to target a Dragonmaid you control, activate 1 of these effects, return it to the hand. If you do add a Dragonmaid card from your deck to your hand except Downtime, or return it to the hand, then return 1 spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. So a way to kind of return their own back row back to their hand for them not to be able to use also. And lastly, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just along with the other hand traps that we ran in the deck also. For the extra deck, we're running 2 copies of Ladies Dragonmaid, needing 2 Dragonmaid monsters with the same attribute but different levels. So their dragon form and their maid form must first be special summoned from the extra deck by banishing the above cards, 1 each from your field and or graveyard. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your deck. During the standby phase, you can fusion summon 1 Dragon Fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling materials from your field and or banishment into the deck. You can only use each effect of Ladies Dragonmaid per turn, but this is just a fusion monster that can be summoned by banishing those materials needed for the initial play from your go-to spell of your Dragonmaid Hospitality, making it all the faster for you to be able to get this monster out and then out into more special summon plays. 2 copies of House Dragonmaid, our other boss monster in the deck, being able to target 1 other Dragonmaid monster you control, special summon 1 Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard in defense, whose level is higher than or lower than it. When another face of dragon you control returns to your hand, except during the damage step, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it. So destruction power just by doing what the deck is meant to do, bouncing the dragon monsters back to your hand. And then the 2 dragon forms of House being Dragonmaid Yugioh. During the standby phase, being able to special summon a level 9 or lower Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard. And when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect negate the activation, destroy that card, and then after return this card to the extra deck and special summon 1 House Dragonmaid from your extra deck, then giving you that additional resource to use after the negation of Yugioh, and then having the destruction power of House on the field. Now, our Ladies Dragonmaid can fusion summon additionally as well. So the other fusion monsters we run being the 1 Chaos Star Source Dragon, the 1 copy of Borreload Furious Dragon, and I also like to run just for fun the 1 copy of 5-headed dragon. You need 5 dragon type monsters to do so, but you can build up those numbers pretty late game with the shuffle back power from your field or banishment with your Ladies Dragonmaid. So being able to just shuffle back those cards to summon out this big behemoth of a boss monster always takes my opponent by surprise when I do so. And then for the Link monsters, 2 copies of Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, just a good generic dragon Link monster, which can then go in turn go into Magnamut, and then have Magnamut search out another Dragonmaid monster. The 1 copy of Striker Dragon sets up more in the graveyard for us to use with just an easy Link 1, SP Little Knight, and then the 1 Saryuja and the 1 Borreload to finish off the rest of the Link monsters and the rest of the extra deck. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I mentioned before, we have that added search power with our Chamber Dragonmaid when it's special normal summon to add 1 Dragonmaid spell or trap. We can then use this card to add Hospitality from our deck to our hand, and then being able to activate Hospitality to special summon a Dragonmaid monster from our hand or graveyard in defense. So then if we have that additional resource in our hand, we can then use the effect to special summon, then send 1 Dragonmaid monster with the same attribute but different level. So then we can send the kitchen Dragonmaid counterpart to the graveyard. And then from there, we have the fusion play just by using the 2 for our Summon of Ladies by banishing the above materials. That gives us 2 banished dragons to then summon out our Ladies Dragonmaid. And then with this card being able to special summon a level 4 or lower Dragonmaid monster from our deck. So then with this card, well, if this card is special summon, we can special summon that additional Dragonmaid monster from the deck. So then we can grab the additional Dragonmaid monster as well. So for that play, we can get out our Parlor Dragonmaid, then being able to send 1 Dragonmaid card from our deck to the graveyard with this. We can then send our Trap, the Dragonmaid Tidying, off of this card. If you wish to remain here, you can go for the link to play, but what's fun as well is then you can use during the standby phase, fusion summon 1 Dragon Fusion monster from your extract by shuffling materials from your field and or banishment into the deck. For this play, you have the 5 monsters, as mentioned before, on the field and in the banish to use for the fusion summon of our 5-headed dragon monster. Just needing the 5 dragon-type monsters to get out this 5k beast of a monster on the field. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. It's a very fun deck. Definitely happy with the new support. It definitely helps with the consistency thanks to Ladies Dragonmaid. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Twig out.